whoever and wherever you are. This is Coach Lee, and I am working on speech anxiety, and I'm talking with my mate, Danny. Say hello, Danny.
Hello, Lee.
And Danny is from Connecticut, and let's see here. He is a data entry freelancer, which is something beyond my comprehension, but it
Also,
sounds.
sorry, Lee, but I think we have to do a little update on that because starting next month, I'm actually going to be a data entry administrator for a company. So,
Okay,
yeah.
okay, data entry administrator. All right. Uh, and they're both Greek to me. And so Danny started studying when he was 18, and he found us on Reddit. Can you tell me at least the first name of the person that referred you
Oh,
to us?
I have no idea, to be honest.
It was too long ago. Okay.
Yeah.
And somebody on Reddit recommended that Danny read my book, and he did. And he joined WSSA, and he watched a bunch of videos, and he really beat it really from the book. And he sent an email along those lines, and I said, well, let's Skype sometime. And we've Skyped a couple times. That's it. And Danny has been extremely helpful to WSSA and all of us who want to fight stuttering because he's done a number of things. Um, he's reached out to people on Reddit and elsewhere and urged them to take a look at our program and so forth. So that's really been great. He's giving a SAM talk this Saturday, and we're looking forward to that. He's also um, he's being coached now to become a certified speech coach for WSSA, which is great. And that's where he is. So now, with that background, I'm going to ask a few basic questions. One, can you remember your last bad incident, when and where it was?
Yes. It was about 2 years ago at my local supermarket where my father told me to go up to the deli department and order some cold cuts because he's Portuguese and he feels like his English is not very good, even though I feel his English is better than most people who actually speak English. So I went up there and I struggled to say American cheese. And actually, my father and I went back to that same place about 2 or 3 weeks ago. And while I still had some fears, thanks to your brilliant methods and especially daily mind training, I was just calming myself down, saying I trust my mind to choose my words and not plan them. And when it was my turn to order some condiments, I was basically able to say everything that I wanted. So thank you.
Now, you said it was 2 years ago.
Right.
Is that around the time you discovered my book?
No, no.
When did you discover my book?
Um, Late 2022, maybe around December
So
23rd.
you hadn't had a bad incident um, for a year before you found my book?
I mean, maybe I'll have some like slight boo-boos
Yeah.
and also didn't help that I didn't put myself as much out there in front of people. So obviously when you're not talking much, you're not really having bad
So
incidents.
you avoided the bad incident. Basically, the way you avoided stuttering, having bad incident, is you didn't talk where you were at risk.
Right. Yep. I only talked when I
Um,
actually had to talk.
hold on. Most stutterers use avoidance massively,
Right.
you know, but you can't run from it forever. So, as you know, and you didn't want to be cursed with it, so um, you found the book and you got to work on it, and you really beat it with the book, and then we Skyped. So I'm at, and I'll ask you, where do you feel, where if anywhere, do you feel under pressure now when you speak? Or would you if you were there doing it?
Yeah, I would say maybe strangers, authority figures, and groups, but with each passing day, those fears are slowly dying. Because what really helped me, because I felt like when I used to have the mild stutter, I would always have bad blocks when speaking to my father. And now I can't even tell you the last bad incident that I had with him where I had some major blocking.
Okay.
So I tell myself, if I can speak to my father perfectly fluent, then I could do it with strangers, authority figures in large groups.
Okay, so your anxieties deal with authorities and strangers. How about groups?
A little bit, yeah.
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 And how about the phone?
No,
Good.
because to be honest,
Oh.
even when I was in speech therapy, I did a lot of practicing on the phone, so that really helped.
Uh, to get over your issues with authorities, strangers, or groups, or wherever, is to, as you know, is to talk more and more and more
Right.
in those situations, because that's how you teach yourself, hey, the audience doesn't change anything, not a thing. I'm as good. In fact, I'm better. Give me a stranger. Give me an authority. Give me a group. I love that. Oh,
Exactly.
yes. It's a chance for me to shine. So that's the attitude you want. You want to be working. Your affirmations should address authorities, strangers, and groups.
Yep. And they do
And
too.
you should be consciously, overtly reaching out to as many to expose yourself. Leap. Don't walk, run to the very opposite of what you did before you had my book. Hide from the problem. You're
Yep.
going to run to the problem. And how much you say is a function of how nervous you are. I would say what you're comfortable doing, plus 10 or 20%. And then take it easy. And then next time, same thing, except you'll be comfortable with a larger amount. Every time you do it, you'll get more comfortable. It's exposure, because we simply learn there's really nothing to it. It's not a problem when we don't hold back. Now, so when you're anxious with authorities, strangers, or groups, for the moment, can you estimate what percentage of your words you think before you say and have to maneuver around? Can you guess? Or if you can't, that's fine.
I
But
would
just like,
say I would say 0% because one of my affirmations that I tell myself daily is I love to speak and I trust my mind to choose my words and not plan them.
I love it. You are right on the edge of breaking out. I mean, and leaving it all behind, like Prathusha, Clifton, and I have, and other people in this program. They just left it behind. It's not there anymore.
And then I know
It,
in your book, sorry, and then I know in your book that you said it took you about 10 years to beat fear,
it
but
did,
hopefully
but it
in my
wouldn't
case,
now. If I were doing it over, knowing what I know now, I could do it pretty fast. I don't know how fast,
right,
but pretty fast. I had no help at all except self hypnosis.
right,
That was it. And then I was stumbling on crutches.
right.
I had crutch one, crutch. Everybody has crutch two. Synonym, similar word or phrase. Crutch three, skip a word. Crutch one, drop a first letter. Those three things, a lot of people figure out for themselves, and I'm doing those, but it wasn't enough to save me. I needed more, and it took me a while to do it. But okay, so not planning words even there. So that's terrific. Then that's second base. First base is not having a bad incident, and second base is not thinking words. Now that's a little bit different subject. Slightly, there's two questions here. My first question was, what do you plan and think around authority, strangers, and groups? And you said zero, which is a great answer. I love hearing it. And then the next question is, I guess, how often does the stuttering ghost kind of cruise through when you're about to say something to somebody, and it's the old fears just crop up out of nowhere? How often, if at all, does that occur?
I mean, it happens a couple times, but now I know a lot of things thanks to your great books, like The Crutches and Daily Mind Training. So when I have that arsenal in my backpack, like, I really don't have like that much fear anymore of, planning work. Because I used to be
Okay,
a massive word planner. I would
all right.
have literally planned conversations in my head, but I can't even tell you like the last time that I planned words or an entire conversation in my head. So it really doesn't affect me that much these days.
Well, I would recommend to you, of course, that you continue going in the same direction you have been doing the same things, and
Right.
just SAM meetings are a great place to talk and ask questions and make comments, and because your presence there and anything you say or do there will help you and it will help other people, and so that's really very important. um, you may not need practice sessions. You might find it helpful to
Right.
participate in some of them, particularly since you want to be a coach.
Right.
I think practice sessions is a good place to practice the rudiments of coaching, because you're there trying to keep your own situation straight and at the same time make suggestions that are helpful to other people. So it's a good environment. The third thing I would recommend to you is joining Toastmasters, because I just think it's a great, Toastmasters is not an organization for eloquent speakers. It's an organization for people who are uncomfortable giving talks, but life is forcing them to give some talks, either at work, or they're president of the PTA, or they're in church, they got a talk, or some community group. I mean, it's like life makes them talk, and more than they're comfortable. So they go to Toastmasters to learn. There are very few orators there, but there may be some orators coming out of the place. But I think if you're looking at learning to be an orator, you need something more like a Dale Carnegie program, which costs a few $100s. I don't know what they cost. Um, you live in Connecticut. I don't know where there's Dale Carnegie chapters like Toastmasters everywhere, but I would say Toastmasters first, and what once, and a lot of that's virtual now. I understand they do it the way we do SAM meetings, so you can
Yep.
even do it from home maybe,
Yep.
and that's great. So I'd say that was good. Um, Dale Carnegie will. I didn't take that course, but I understand that it's a very good public speaking program. And it's also, they call it a leadership program as well. It's both public speaking and leadership, because they feel that you really can't be a leader unless you're a good speaker.
Mm.
And so the two kind of go hand in glove. So that's a factor. But just in general, then I would say in general, run, don't walk to pressure situations
Right.
and have fun. Have some fun. You're not only going to say, hey, I love talking to these people, it's fun. Look, life is how you see it. Look at it that way. When you meet an authority or a stranger, this could be everybody on the planet knows something you don't. And everybody on the planet has something you can like about them. So reach out, go for it. Authority figure, wonderful. Ask them questions, learn something. What do they know you don't know? Find out, ask them questions. Same thing with strangers. And groups, Sam, Toastmasters, Dale Carnegie, PTA meetings, church, community gatherings. Be the guy who raises his hand. Volunteer to talk. Be an MC. I mean, when Prathusha was barely a PWSS, her company asked her to MC a program in front of hundreds of people from the stage.
Wow.
And she did it. She said she was scared to death. And she did it.
It's amazing.
And she never looked back. I think now I've not asked her I helped her 7 years ago.
Wow.
I have she was a child when I helped her practically. And so I have no idea how she feels now, but my guess is she doesn't, if she knows what she's going to say, if she's prepared in terms of the subject matter, I don't think she's afraid to talk anywhere. I wouldn't think she is. I'm not. And Leah's the same way. Have you heard Leah talk?
Oh, absolutely. Even though for my liking, I think she speaks a bit too fast.
She does. Way too fast.
Right.
And we all kid her about that.
Yeah.
But she's a very smart girl. Academically smart girl. But anyway, okay, those are my questions. And, loving to speak is where you end up. And how good is that? How good is that?
It's amazing.
And that's what you're going to do. You're not going to look back. And it's going to give you a lot of confidence in yourself.
Very true.
It's going to make you stand out in a positive way. Yeah. Well, you've answered all the questions the right way. It's like first base, second base. You're well on your way to third base, loving to speak everywhere, especially under pressure. That's your strongest suit because you're ready for it. It's like you're playing your football and you're prepared for it. And in the championship game, you play your best game because you're really keyed up for it. That's when you shine. You don't hold back. Oh, no. Same thing here. We don't hold back. The more pressure is there, the more we let go. In a positive way. So, that's really all I would say to you. And being able to say stuttering was a blessing in your life, that's home plate. And you can always improve your speech. I certainly can improve mine. And you can improve yours. And the day will never come when you can't. And crutch 11, speak like a king. And 13, no crutch at all. You don't need crutches. You need enthusiasm and passion. You need stops. You need to smile. You need pronunciation. You don't want to speak too fast. But the main thing you need is conviction. Positive emotions and thoughts. For negative ones, forget it. You got to find a way to put them out. It's like a negative part of you that you need to extinguish, not let out. Polish it up and make it positive and then let it out.
Right.
Hard to do. You can do it. It's a lifelong project. And while we're at it, create the person you want to be. How do you do that? Well, what would you like to be? Would you like to be a good worker? Then you say, when I'm working, I'm happy. Would you like to always use logic in the decisions you make? Well, then, when I'm logical, I'm happy. Would you like to be really popular? Then be loving. When I'm loving, I'm happy. You want to be upbeat? Laugh at life, laugh at the world, laugh at yourself, first and foremost, because you're funny. I'm funny. Life's funny. When I'm laughing, I'm happy. Do I do all this? No. Do I try? Yes. You got a whole lifetime to work on this.
It's true.
You make your brain what you want it to be. You write the script. You do the programming. If you don't, the world will program it for you, and you're not going to like what you get.
True. Very true.
That's why stuttering is a blessing. Made you focus on some important things. You can't just let your mind be open to a bunch of garbage. You're going to be a great, I love what you said about WSSA, your talk and everything, and I'm so hopeful that, in a year and 3 years and 5 years and whatever, it becomes something significant. And if it does, I know that they would benefit by having you on their team any way they could work that out, along with Javi and Pratyush and some of the others that seem to want to be there. There's a lot to do.
Mm-hmm.
So, any event, that's all I have to say. And is there anything else you want to cover right now?
No, it's pretty much it. I think you said everything very well said.
Okay, well, look, I'm here for you anytime.
Appreciate
You
that.
just shoot me an email. Can we talk? And we'll do it. So don't hesitate to do that. And I'm looking forward to your SAM talk on Saturday. I'm hopeful that you'll become, maybe you already are. I think you pretty much are a regular at SAM.
Yep.
And I hope you join Toastmasters, and I hope you'll look into Dale Carnegie while you're at it. Don't put any limits on yourself. Dale Carnegie is a more serious program. I do Toastmasters first. They 2 to 5 minute talks and whatever. And when you go there, give them your SAM talk.
Right.
They'll love it.
Yeah, I think when I joined Toastmasters for the first time, I actually gave a talk there about my stuttering journey in this amazing program.
Oh, you did it already?
Yeah, I did it already about maybe 2 months ago or so.
And they loved your talk, didn't they?
Absolutely. Yep.
They did. Because they understand that, because everybody, people who don't stutter may still have a lot of the same feelings about speaking that stutterers do. And they just don't understand why, and it's a real negative situation. So when somebody gets up there and says, I couldn't talk a lot, well, it makes them feel compassionate, about that person. I give a stuttering talk at Toastmasters myself.
Nice.
many moons ago,
Mhm.
and it worked very well. So, all right. Well, okay. Well, then I'll see your smiling face on Saturday. Keep me posted and keep letting me know what you do, the stuff that you do in your emails. You've been very helpful. I really love reading them. And
Okay.
it gives me ideas. I pass them along to other people and
Okay.
say, look what this guy's doing, and they love it, you know,
Sounds good.
gives them hope.
Right.
We gave you hope.
Oh,
You give us
absolutely.
hope.
Absolutely.
It's a two-way street. Okay, Danny. Great seeing you, man.
Likewise. Thank you.
Keep up the good work, buddy. My money's on you. I'm going to call my broker and double my bet right now.
Sounds good. Let's do it.
This guy's going to win. I'll see you, mate.
Bye, Lee.